Why, hello there, my wonderful adventurers. What kind of adventures have you had lately? I would sure love to hear about them. Now, in core today, we're going to do something a little different. You're going to get out your core folder first. Oh my goodness, what is that on my core folder? Ah, somebody's old mustache. Silly mustache. It won't come up. You're going to take out your core folder first. Open that up and you will see something that says on the top, red cedars and grizzly bears. Now this today, and you can put this away for the day, this we're going to do during the read aloud. So when I pause, you are going to draw a picture about what I just talked about, and you're going to give it a caption. A caption is a little phrase that explains what's in your picture. Like if it's bluebirds flying through the air, you could say blue birds fly or birds fly or something like that. I'll help you out as well. So as I'm reading today, I would like you to make sure you pause me when I say pause so that you can make sure that you are doing your awesome pictures. And you can use color and markers on these as well. Are we ready to get started? Let's go. All right, now in today's read aloud, Lewis and Clark are going to make more discoveries on their expedition, and we're going to draw some of those discoveries. Here we go. After Lewis and Clark sent some of the team back east with reports and scientific samples for President Jefferson, the captains and the rest of their crew continued west. They rowed in 2 of their original pirogues, plus 6 new canoes made from hollowed out trees. These canoes, about 30 feet long and 3 feet wide, were hard to balance. More than once, as the men were getting used to them, the canoes overturned in mid-river, forcing the men to fish out wet supplies before going on. That doesn't sound very fun, does it? Despite this, Lewis wrote in his journal that the men were happy and healthy. Let's go ahead and pause right here and let's do our first picture. Let's draw our first picture. So I just told you about how they made canoes out of hollowed out trees. Go ahead and draw me a picture. What would your picture look like and what would your caption be? Go ahead and pause me. And when you're done, unpause me and we'll keep going. Soon they left behind the flat plains and entered hilly land. Now the Missouri River became more difficult to travel. Forests of western red cedars lined the banks of the river. These beautiful trees were so important to the Native Americans of the area that some of the Native Americans called themselves the people of the red cedar, performing special ceremonies before chopping down the huge evergreens. So an evergreen, remember, those are those trees that say green all year around. Lewis and Clark knew it would be impossible to take an entire tree back with them because of its gigantic size, almost 200 feet above the ground. That's as tall as a 20-story building. Nevertheless, the tree was so important to the lives of the Native Americans that they knew they must gather samples and record or take notes on its many uses. They drew pictures and collected branches, cones, and seeds. As they learned more about the western red cedar from the Native Americans in the area, both Lewis and Clark wrote about the importance of the western cedar in their journals. I'm having a hard time reading today. Now, a journal, like they wrote in, is a book in which you can write notes or stories or draw pictures, like you guys had your writing folders. It's kind of like a journal. A lot of you have journals I know that you've brought to school as well. The people and animals of the Northwest relied upon the tree for their existence. The Native Americans used the bark of the tree to weave mats, baskets, and clothing, and used the wood to build canoes. Elk ate the leaves and shoots of the enormous tree. Bears hibernated or slept through the winter in the hollow cedar logs. I'm going to go ahead and pause right here for you to draw another picture. And I'm going to give you the caption for this picture so that you know how to spell it. The caption is cedar. And this is how you spell cedar. And we're talking about the cedar tree. They had so many uses for it, the Native Americans did. The bears used it, the Native Americans used it, all sorts of everybody used it, right? Well, all sorts of everybody, meaning plants and animals. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I'm having a hard time today. Oh, man. So go ahead and pause me and draw your next picture of cedar tree. All right, I hope your picture looks super awesome. Ooh, now one day, the men heard often of the bears called grizzly bears that made their homes in the hollowed out logs of the cedars. So as they made their way up the Missouri, William Clark warned, "Keep a sharp eye out for grizzly bears." One of the hunters said, "Don't worry, Captain. We've seen plenty of bears before back in Kentucky." Black bears, yes. This is a black bear. Grizzly bears, no. From what I hear, it's like the difference between a house cat and a lion. So black bears, they're a lot smaller. Grizzly bears, whoo, they're bigger and they are fierce. One day, Lewis and another man were out hunting along the riverbank. Suddenly, they saw two giant grizzly bears up ahead. The bears rose up on their hind legs, up and up, until they stood 8 feet tall. Then, roaring, the bears charged. Raising their rifles and taking careful aim, Lewis and his companion shot one bear, but the other one kept coming right at them with frightening speed. "Run!" shouted Lewis, and the two men turned and ran for their lives. Lewis and the other man stopped running to take another shot, turned, took aim, and fired at the same instant. The loud bang was followed by a tense moment as the bear suddenly stopped running. It held still for a moment, and then it toppled over, or it fell forward. Only when they were sure that the grizzly bear was dead did Lewis and his companion carefully approach the animal. Lewis later wrote in his journal that the bear weighed between 500 and 600 pounds and was 8.5 feet tall. That's taller than 2 first graders, one standing on top of the other. Okay, I'm going to pause right here again for you to draw another picture. And I will give you the caption for this one as well. The caption is, Grizzly Bear. Draw your picture for the caption, Grizzly Bear. Man, oh man. And give me a pause. Come back when you're ready. This is my funny pause face. Okay, are you back? Did you pause it on my funny pause face? Okay, good. After this frightening chase, Lewis told the whole party, "From now on, we must always move about and do even the simplest actions in parties of 2 or more. One man alone going up against a grizzly would not stand a chance." Whew, that was very, very frightening. I can tell you for sure that they would not stand a chance, right? Question for you. Which tasks did Lewis and Clark complete today in their journals? Do you remember what tasks we talked about? They collected plants and animals, right? So this is another place where I want us to pause and give your very last picture a caption. And you can caption it with plant or animal, and caption or draw one of the new plants or the new animals that they discovered. Pause me. Are you done with your picture? Awesome. What did you draw? Did you draw another grizzly bear? Did you draw the cedar tree? Yeah, those were the ones that they discovered this time and were careful to take note of and write down in their journal to send back to President Jefferson. So good job. All right, tomorrow we are going to learn even more about their adventures. We only have 2 lessons left, and that'll be it for the Frontier Explorers. Yeah, that'll do it for today. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.